Hi everyone and welcome to this video. So last time we basically left off with our view matrix, look at matrix, and we had this kind of cube, which is all good. We finished that hard part of actually figuring out view matrix. For this part it's going to be easy because all we had to do is some refactoring, because I want to prepare our scene for basically lighting, which we will do next. So this part we're just going to clean up stuff. And we can probably start immediately. So I'm just going to create here a new class and we can start from our camera. So let's go with that first actually, and then just create a new file. I'm going to call it Swift file. I'm going to say camera. So yeah, this video is probably going to be boring to most of you, but it is what it is. We need to clean up stuff as well. So let's see how are we going to pull it out. Well, the most stuff for the camera we actually had here in coordinator. So what did we need here? So we were creating all these buffers, so I'm just going to pull that. So here we can say function. Is it function? No, it's just init, right? So let's see. And we can probably think of the variables here. So we're going to need public buffer. So constant buffer for our camera. So it was in the float 4x4, just to hold our matrix. So then we're going to have matrices. Let's see, what did we have here? So for the matrices, I don't even know where they are anymore. Okay, I'm just going to create a new one and then clean up there. So we're going to have private var projection. So our camera is going to be projection view and then multiplication of those. So projection view, and we already discussed projection and view. View last time, projection way before that. So here I actually want to have projection view, also types in the float 4x4. And then we can actually extract view variables. So we're going to have private let up. So we're just going to initialize up parameter, since we're not going to be changing it that much. So I just suggest to have it as a private, but then we can public. So our camera, we can set a position and we can probably set target. So we're just going to initialize it to some values here, position and similar. We're going to do the same for target, and we can just say target float 3, and by default it can be 0, 0, 0. And then perspective variables. So public var field of view type float, let's say 45 by default. Then we can have near float, we can say 0.01, and then var. I think that 100 is even stretching it, but we can leave it. And then here, so we can just rename this to buffer. So we're just going to set it to buffer. Projection is now a class variable here as well. So let's see what we're going to need. Projection, we just need to paste here near var. So maybe I can zoom in a bit and then zoom in this as well. So that's good. View matrix, so it's matrix look at, and then we're just going to paste parameters instead. So we can say position, then target, and then up. Projection view, and we're not going to write here actually. We're going to write here. We're going to have function update, and I'm going to make it public, so just so that it's clear. We're going to write our projection view, but this is now called just buffer simply. Then here we can just do this once more, this projection view matrix and projection view part in our function. And here buffer, we know that it's initialized. Here it's complaining about something. Yeah, this is just called view now. That's quite alright. We can change that. And here we need to say device. Tag metal device. And we have imported metal kit, therefore it's all good now. Okay, so let's just try to change it and see what's going to happen in our coordinator. So wherever we have camera, we're just going to get rid of it. And actually an unlit render pipeline. What did we paste here? Where is it? Perspective view buffer. We're just going to paste camera around. Camera. I think it's going to be easier than here. We can say camera dot buffer. Bit unusual, but yeah, I'm not going to change that right now. It's not super important. I think it's clear enough what's happening. Then let's see what can we do here. So instead of doing all of this, which I already pulled, so here these are not going to be relevant anymore. We're just going to say game objects, and one of those is going to be camera, and we can just set it to nil by default, and then we can initialize it somewhere at the end, game objects, and we can say camera, and then we need to pass device, and we need to unwrap it. So here in draw method, I'm not sure if draw is best for this, but we can just say here function update, and then here say camera update. Did we create an update method? We actually did. Perfect. And then here we can say just update so that it's clear what's happening. And then all of this is now done inside camera. We don't need this. Render pass. And here we're just going to paste camera now. And if I run it, build failed because I need to unwrap it. Let's see. It's here, other screen. Okay, that works. Cool. So next thing that we can refactor is, let's see. We had this depth texture. We can probably move it in our texture somewhere. So in our texture 2D, we can create a small static function. And I'm just going to be, I didn't use public keywords before, but now it's probably a good time to use it. It's just going to be easier when you look at the code. So I'm just going to call this create depth texture. We're going to need device. And we're going to return texture 2D. So we're not going to use this depth texture. So here, somewhere, what do I want to do? Actually, if we define a texture, I'm just going to have another overload. It's of type metal texture. Okay, we can do that. So here we can say if image, so this old code, we're just going to wrap it if image does not equal to nil, right? We're doing all of that because for all of that we needed image. But now if we already have a texture, right, we can just assign self texture is equal to texture. Easy. So what did I do here? Okay, it's complaining about something. Yeah, this needs to be var now. So I'm just going to say public var, and here I'm going to say public var as well, and then just initialize to nil, and here as well. Good. Let's see, what am I missing here? So here I need to say self texture. And image is actually now optional. And here I'm just going to unwrap it. I think we're done. Well, the point here is I want to have this texture pasted in, and if texture is pasted in, I'm just going to assign it directly. And that's it. So we would usually need to actually create a sampler here as well, but since I'm going to use it only for depth texture, I don't think it's important. It's just some small refactoring for clarity, so that we can do here. What did we have here previously? Depth texture, right? We're still going to need this, but here instead of doing this, we're just going to say texture 2D, create depth texture, and then we need device. Probably need to unwrap it as usual, and let's just see if that works. Oh, all right. Yeah, this is not metal texture, it's texture 2D now. And then here when we were assigning it, we're just going to say texture, and then probably unwrap it as well. So let's just see if that runs. Okay, we're just going to say here let texture. We didn't create it, and then we're going to say return texture 2D. So we needed that first parameter, which is device. Here we're going to have nil for image, and then we're going to pass texture. And now we're almost there. These question marks of modern languages and unwrapping and all of that, it really gets annoying. But again, it's on another screen, but it works as expected. So if you get stuck somewhere, just check GitHub. It's probably easiest way to do it. So next, what I'm going to refactor is I'm going to create a small class. Actually, let me think for a second. I'm going to create now game objects. Well, let's do that. So new group, game objects, and the first object is going to be our, well, basically our pedal for our game, right? We're doing what was it? Tetris game, right? No, not Tetris, Pong game. My bad. I don't even remember the game, but we're just going to create this pedal thing, and we're going to need probably metal kit, and then we can say class pedal. Here we're going to need a bunch of stuff. So we're going to need position. We're going to need to have color. So I'm not going to use textures, but I'm going to use colors. You'll see what I mean in a second. So we can make this private scale because we're not going to change it. If you want, you can expose it. So I want my pedal to be 5 in Y, 1 in X and 1 in Z. We're going to see Y. So we need the usuals, transform, 4x4. We're going to need pipeline here. And then we're going to need transform buffer. So buffer, CD, float, 4x4. Cool. Then in init, this device, metal device. And here we can just initialize stuff. So it's already getting way cleaner. By the end, we should have something that's at least readable. We're going to need device here, transform buffer, also depends on device. So constant buffer and then device. And finally the transform, which is just matrix.identity by default. And then we're going to have draw. So let's see parameters that we're going to need for our pipeline to draw. we're going to need render recorder, buffers, camera. So yeah, these buffers, right? This geometry that defines our vertices. So we can do that a bit differently as well. So we're going to do that right now. So in here we have this attribute buffers, and I call it geometry buffers, and then I'm going to call this geometry buffers collection. And it's just going to be a simple class which is going to provide our buffers as a static object. So you're going to see what I mean. Geometry buffers collection. So we're going to have public static var, and then we have this cube geometry buffer thing. So we're going to get rid of that. I'm just going to assign it to nil, and then static function we're going to have initialize, and whenever we have geometry we can just initialize it here, so we don't have to create like a bunch of instances of it. So we have this geometry builder class, create cube geometry, and then cube geometry buffer, we can just say geometry buffers. We need here device and geometry. All right, and then we need to import. All right, so that means that here in our coordinator, so we're going to get rid of this transforms, we're not going to need that. We're going to get rid of this pipeline, we're not going to need it. And here we're going to get rid of this geometry buffers and one lit pipeline here. So let's get rid of this. This is quite alright. These geometry buffers, we don't need them anymore, and we don't need this either. Oh, almost wrong. Transforms. So here, initialize geometry buffers. So we just need to initialize it. So geometry buffers collection, right? I made it static on purpose so that I can initialize it. So we're just going to paste device, unwrap it, and that's it. So then we can use this as a static here in our pedal. So we're going to say here, let's just paste this in because we're going to need this. So we can do this. Maybe we can do this. Cool, we're going to need that. And then we can just pass, come on. What's happening here? Render. Seriously? Okay, we're going to need this, so we can then say for the second parameter we had geometry buffers, but we're going to now say geometry buffers collection, and then we can just paste cube geometry buffer. So here we're going to need camera, and that's going to be a parameter. And here these transforms buffers are actually now here. So we have transforms buffer here is an object, and here for a pedal we just need to do a couple of more things. It must be unwrapped. Okay, let's just unwrap it. And here, before we go, we need to do those transformations. So we're going to have scale matrix. So we're going to say scale x, scale y, and then scale z. And then here we're just going to do transform, multiply equals, and then we need to do translations. So we're not going to work with rotation, there's no reason for it. If you want, you can. For here, I don't need it. And then we just need to write the transform buffer. So what are we writing? Well, we're writing that transform, right? Okay, I think we're almost set. There are some errors. Okay, it's complaining about this. That's quite alright, because we're going to make those pedals. So we're going to say var pedal, and I'm going to call this pedal 1. So it's new. We can set pedal not here, actually, when I create it. So here, and then paste device, and then we can play with some parameters. So we can say position is t for t. So the first pedal is going to go a bit to the left, so we can say minus 10 0 0. It's probably good as any. Or yeah, that's good as any. Actually, I don't need to do it like that. I can just say like this: position x is minus 10. Sorry about this. And then I want to have color for it, and the first pedal can be of color blue. Let's say default 4, so 0 0 for red and green, then blue is 1, alpha is 1, and that's it regarding the pedal. So just camera. So I kind of want to have it like way behind in Z, and our space for our game is going to go from minus 10 to 10 or something like that, maybe minus 12 to 12. So that's why I position this here, this pedal at minus 10. You're going to see what I mean. So we just need to reposition our camera. So I just want to pull it way back, and it's going to be centered otherwise, so it means 0 0 and maybe minus 20. And then for the target, yeah, I think target is just 0 0 0. That's quite alright. So we just need to draw that pedal, so we can get rid of all of this. So we can say pedal 1 draw. We need to paste the tree and the pass encoder, then we need to paste the camera. And if I run it here, I think this is not necessary probably. Let's see what's going to happen. Our build is going to fail because I need to unwrap it. Okay, cool. Here it is. This is our pedal. We're going to have the right one here. It's just that color is still not fixed, and we already had color, right? So I just need to say pipeline dot diffuse color is equal to color. If I run it now, it should be okay. Open anyway, and it's blue. So let's do here a red one. We can just call it pedal 2, I guess. Can copy paste this. Shameless copy paste, say pedal 2. We're going to change it to 10 instead of minus 10, and here we can make the red one. And then here we just need to draw it. If I run it now, okay, we're almost there. I just want to do this kind of ball. So for ball, I'm just going to shamelessly copy and paste basically a pedal code, and that's going to be it. We're just going to make some small adjustments. I don't want to waste like too much time on the ball, so it's just going to be simple cube. It's like least important part probably of this series. It's just gameplay programming for really simple game. So in my eyes, I don't even care too much about it. So we just need to import that. We're just going to change scale to 111. It's fine if it's white. You can change the color, but I'm going to leave it as white. So I'm just going to say var ball, so it's nil. And here you can just initialize it. And I think that we don't even have to do anything. It's fine if it's centered, it's fine, position's fine, color, it can remain white. So we just need to draw it. And here we have it, it's white. And I was thinking of changing the background color, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's pick up some nice clear color so you can play with this. So just find a clear color for our attachment, and I'm just going to use values, something like this maybe. It's going to be kind of light pink, so whatever works for you. I just love to use this color for some reason. Nah, nah, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Alright, my bad. My bad, I was thinking of another color. It actually needs, this values need to be higher. So this can be 0.7 and then 0.8. That's probably fine. No. Ah, come on. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, I can live with that. But anyway, at one point we're going to probably do environment maps, so it's going to be looking at some environment instead. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, even though it was just refactoring, but at least it was easy to clean it up, to clean stuff up. You can go further if you want with that, but we still have to do next time lights, so that's what we're going to be doing next time. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and until next time.